Okie dokie. We are. We live, baby. Okay. Got this Range Rover to paint. By the way, this is Gabriel. If you don't know me, now you know me. My name is Gabriel, and I run this channel. One of the painters. If you stumble here by mistake, I'm sorry. But I hope that you learned something today about painting, about sealing, about spraying. Hopefully it'll be useful for you. Today I'm using the R410 from Prona for sealing. I've been trying this Prona's guns out. Really nice. I like them so far. So let's go in the booth now. Alright. Are we recording? Yes. I'm gonna be checking all the time if we're recording now because I'm freaking paranoid. So, first things first, we're gonna give this bumper a wash. I've been using microfiber cloths and it's been working amazing. I would use 2 of them, but for now my other one's dirty. I'll just power wash them and they come out really nice and clean. But I'll just do one for this one, and I'll just use one side and then flip it over and dry it with the other side. If you haven't tried this method with the microfiber cloth, I suggest you do, because it saves a lot of time, saves some money when you don't have to keep buying cloth. I mean, not that they're really expensive, but I mean, if you want to control your costs a little bit on things, they work very, very, very well. I'm really happy with the way that they work. All right. Make sure that's nice and smooth. Nice, 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 nice. Now, I'm going to blow it, tack it, and neutralize it. Now, I'm not going to touch the car yet. Not going to touch the car yet because I want to get this sealer going, and then I'll take a couple minutes to wash the car while this flashes off. One of the things, the hidden benefits of using a static gun, whichever you use, is that it forces you to slow down. It forces you to pay a little more attention, which, you know, when you kind of slow down a little bit and you pay more attention, then that means your jobs are kind of come out much better. Okay? So, this gun doesn't need that much pressure. like the fan pattern on this gun. This works really well. You never know. There may be a great, affordable, motivated painter's gun one day. I don't know. Anyways, it works really well. I mixed 4 ounces for this bumper. So you can see it's fully covered. And it looks great. Now a little tip when you're sealing. A little advice for you when you're sealing, okay? When you're putting sealer on. Some people want like exact air pressure, right? What PSI are you spraying at? What bar are you spraying at? But here's what I'll tell you. As if you're spraying, you're not gonna be spraying PPG sealer like I am. You're going to most likely be spraying another one. If you are spraying PPG sealer, then I spray this at 25. But if you're not, the best way to tell, don't get so hung up on the pressure, don't get so hung up on the PSI. Look at the texture, look at what the gun is doing, okay? If it's coming out really textury, then you gotta crank up your PSI a little bit. If it's coming out too smooth and there's overspray everywhere, and obviously you can't come out too smooth, but if it's, when you put up too much of an air pressure, it'll all go like dusty. So you got to find that balance. But the only way to find that balance is according to your first of all, your manufacturer specifications of your paint company. But farther than that, in your professional opinion, you get a test panel and you find that pressure. You find that pressure where the sealer is coming out beautifully, when the sealer is coming out even, when the sealer is not coming out distorted, but it's coming out as a whole, it's coming out smooth, and that's what you want. All right, so don't get so hung up on the PSI of things. I'm going to wash the car now. I'll shut up. All right, always, like I've said many of videos, always wash some of the paper. If you want to go crazy and wash all the paper, I will not tell you to stop, because it makes a big difference. Just treat a foot, sorry I'm screaming, I just don't know if you hear me. Treat like a foot from the panel that you're spraying, like the panel that you're spraying. And that way, you'll make sure that there won't be any much dirt. It really makes a big difference. So this is a blend panel. This car was already cleaned, already washed. I'm just doing a final wash. This was a replacement quarter panel. Blend door, blend this as well. This color is PAB, which is 820, Santorini black. Beautiful color. I wish I had more metallics, but it's still a nice color. For some reason, well, if you didn't know, Jag and Range Rover use a lot of the same colors. They just have different names for it, which is kind of weird. Wish they would just stay with one name. So I'm putting some pressure when I'm wiping, because I want to make sure that there's anything stuck in there, that you're taking it off, right? And you're just not gliding over things, right? I think that it makes a big difference when you're washing. So just put a little bit of pressure, just to make sure that you're not gonna miss anything, right? I think there's so many things that go into a good paint job. So many things that go into a clean paint job. I've done some videos before on how to keep paint jobs cleaner. One of the tips is to wash the paper. One of the tips is to wash around it. Just, you know, just don't wash the panel that you're spraying. Wash the panel that you're spraying and then everything around it. You know, it makes a big difference. And then the same thing when you're tacking and blowing. Always blow towards one direction. What you can do is, we'll blow it off completely. You obviously have to put some tape there. Blow it off like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to tack this way. Right, even the paper, and now we're going to work our way that way. Notice I'm doing the paper. Trust me, it makes a difference. There's a couple of guys that messaged me and actually told me that this trick, this tip made a huge difference for them. So, I recommend it. That's the body guy, the superstar that worked on this and changed the quarter panel. So he's wondering when I'm going to be done with it, because it's Friday. So he wants to put it together. So now we're going to just throw everything that way. Now we're gonna use our neutralizer AC. All right. These sealers dry, not even tacky. Good. All right. Gonna use another Prona. This is an R4300A. If anybody has any information about these guns, please let me know. You can email me at motivatedpainters@gmail.com. I want to know everything about this company, if possible. So I go 25. what I always do is if there's any break through the clear, I'll go through those first. If there's any putty spots, I'll go through those first. All right. Remember what I said? Let the gun do the work, right? Notice how I'm not doing this, right? I'm just letting the gun do the work, letting that spray pattern do the work. Just gonna cover this whole top here. This was a replacement quarter panel, so I'm going to cover the whole thing. All right. Give this a quick flash. Now I want everything to be the same. So even though this is covered, even though this has complete paint, complete coverage on this, I want to make sure that the finish on here is going to be the same that's on the bumper. So I'm going to put probably not as much as material as the bumper, but I want to make sure that the paint that I have in there is completely covered here, because the prepper jammed it, right? Painted in here, and now just got to make sure that everything is even, everything is going to be consistent. It's been a really hot summer so far. Hot and sweaty. The humidity levels are really bad. So we have those blowers there, but they take about 5 minutes to get going. So by the time those get going in 5 minutes, I've already put a second coat on this. I've already dried it and put a second coat of this, which is why it's very important to have a blowing tool such as this one to get things going quicker. All right, that's ready for a second coat. I'm gonna put it on wet. Just to get coverage. You wanna go for coverage. All right, beautiful. That's all good to go. I'm gonna turn up the heat and blow. All right. That's all we're gonna need. Now we're gonna do our control coat. Control coat, drop coat, effect coat, mix coat, final coat, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call the last coat of base before you clear. I'm gonna drop it down to 18 psi. Are we still recording, boys and girls? Yes, we are. 18 psi. And now I'm just gonna dust it. I'm gonna dust it. I'm gonna dust it. Dust it, baby. Dust it, baby. Just dust it away. All right, you want a matte look. You don't want it wet. You want it just matte. Let that gun do the work there for you, boys and girls. I'm probably about 12 inches away from the panel. But depending on what you're using, just make sure that it looks right. Because I can tell you a bunch of things to do, but if it doesn't look right, then what I'm telling you does not work for what you are doing. So it's very important. A lot of painting is figuring it out. A lot of painting is figuring it out on your own. What works for you? Obviously following some guidelines, because you can't, you're most likely not a chemist. Some of you might be, but right. Good. So I actually have a white Land Rover on that side and a black Range Rover on this side. I'm gonna clear them both at the same time. So I'm gonna mix a whole bunch of clear. And I'm gonna use 530. I realized I still haven't done an official review for the PPS 2.0. This has been working great for me. I did find that some of the liners are different, which is probably gonna be the biggest advice I can give you. Look at the liners. Look at the liners, how it fits, and how the lid fits on the liner. If the lid's not fitting on the liner right, and you see that it's pushing it down, keep that sleeve of liners and call your 3M rep to pick it up. And you give you a new one and do the same thing, because they're having inconsistencies in their liners. And that's what's causing the problem of you putting the lid, turning it over, and then it's a disaster. I want to give this a gentle stir, get those chemicals to mix, and I'm going to go get a coffee. Get a quick coffee. So let this sit for 5 minutes, right? And then you're going to see when we come back, it's going to be see-through. It's going to be beautiful. I like to do that once in a while. When I'm doing a big job, just let it sit. Nice and clear. Like it. Alright. We are ready to go. So, when you're putting these on, I'll bring it up here. Hopefully I don't make a mess. But sometimes what happens, I hope you can see this, but sometimes what happens is this is extremely thin, which it looks like it's the case here. Okay, so you have to put one side in, then gently bring it down. When you see that it's leveled, you push down in the middle. Make sure you're not pushing down where the tabs are. And that's it. Lock it. And then you're good to go. So this has been sitting for about an hour while I was getting the other one done. Now this way, I'll just mix clear. Same cup, same gun, right? And then I get to clear both of them at once. And I also know that this is flashed off properly, and I'm not going to have any issues. So now, I'm just making sure that if there's anything on top, then it's not going to give me issues. Using a WS400 1.3 at 35 psi. When you're spraying white, it's very important that you're consistent, because if you're not, it's very hard to see when you're clearing white, especially on the second coat. So you want to make sure that you're consistent with what you're doing, so then you can have a uniform finish across the whole entire job. Awesome. Well, I just finished clearing this, and we'll meet you guys over there in the other booth. Right. Right. Same gun, WS400. When I'm using EC530, I spray it almost very close to what I want it to look like, because this clear doesn't flow that much. So first coat and second coat, I put them on it pretty much how I want it to look like. There goes my blower. Forgot to sip up my sipper. With here, I'm probably about 4 to 5 inches away from the panel when I'm clearing. So that's almost 30 ounces. So that's almost 30 ounces on those 2 jobs so far. Now I'm going to mix enough to top this up. Second coat's going to be just a tiny little bit wetter, but the first coat was pretty wet too, because I want to make sure that the first coat, I put it on the way that I want it to look. Where is this car? Can't find it. There it is. Where is it? Woo! It's hot. Gonna see if I can fit all this in here. Should be able to. It's hot under here. My goodness. In order to produce more videos, I have sacrificed on doing the voiceover because it was taking up a lot of time. It almost takes, you know, an hour more to do a voiceover on top of the videos. So I've been doing it for a while now, where I'm just talking through my mask, and I think it's been working pretty well. I don't know what you guys think. If you guys have any comments, would be greatly appreciated. Want to let that sit for a couple minutes. Want to give this a rinse. Just to rinse it out. Oh. Now I'm just gonna let this sit for a sec. Be back. All right. Here goes this one. All done. Looking good. Few nips. One there. Another one there. But very clean. I think that's it. Super happy with that. This looks great. We're gonna kick this over to bake. I want to go do the Black Rover now. But now we gotta make some more clear. Alright, there we go. Just letting that breathe a little bit. Now check it out. I lift up with my finger. Hope you can see that. As much as you can without spilling. Pull the trigger. Find the slot when there isn't a tab. Go down slowly. When it gets to the rim, when the cap gets to the rim of the cup, let go of the finger and push down to the cap. Twist. And you're good to go. Just a little advice. By the way, I'm not a PPG rep. I'm not a paint rep. I don't even consider myself a professional. But, you know, so don't do anything I say in this videos. This is all stuff that I'm showing you that works for me. Doesn't mean that it's gonna work for you. I don't need any lawsuits. Just trying to help. All right, here we go.
Alright. I'm going to put some clear in there first. So then I can just go over and the overspray will land in there fine. This Rover's always have an edge there that you gotta get all the time. Make sure you get that edge. And I'm using full trigger. See a tiny little fisheye there. So what I do is I'll lower the pressure to 10 psi, and just do a quick, gone. Just a little advice for you. All right. Well, that's it. Looks great.
Looks great. I'm happy with it. What do you guys think? Looks all right? Is it perfect? No, it's not. But I'm really happy with it. Awesome. A key pointer for when you're spraying EC530 is always let that flash off for 10 minutes. All right, that's a key for you right there. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something. If you got any more ideas for videos or any suggestions, let me know in the comments. All right, I love you. Take it easy.